Today on No BS AI Briefing, Microsoft's Copilot is learning to do more than just chat. Google's transforming ads into conversations, and we'll break down what new EU regulations mean for your product, even if you're not in Europe. No BS AI Briefing brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host, Vikash Sharma, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. First up, Microsoft's pushing the boundaries of what an AI assistant can actually do in the workplace. They've just introduced agentic browsing in Edge for Business. Now, in plain English, this isn't just your typical copilot helping you write emails anymore. We're talking about an AI agent that can actively navigate web pages, fill out complex forms, and complete multi step workflows on approved sites within the Edge browser itself. And here's the kicker, it's all backed by enterprise IT controls and Microsoft's Purview data protection, which is huge. For builders, this is a massive signal. You've got a brand new integration surface to think about. Your products don't just need clear APIs, they need stable UI patterns that these agents can reliably interact with. It means security and compliance aren't afterthoughts anymore. They're first class citizens in how you design for agent interaction. Next, Google's Gemini-powered ad formats are about to reshape how customers discover and buy products online. Google just launched a suite of new ad experiences, moving way beyond static keywords. Think conversational discovery ads, highlighted answers that pop up right in search, AI-powered shopping ads, and even a business agent for leads that can qualify prospects. They're also expanding their direct offers pilot, letting agents bundle promotions, facilitate native checkout, and even suggest travel deals. What does this mean for us builders? Well, customer journeys aren't going to be linear website visits anymore. They're going to be shaped by these AI agents that can answer questions, bundle products, and even transact on behalf of the user. This creates brand new integration paths for your e-commerce platforms and SaaS products with Google's ever-growing agentic ad stack. You'll need to design for context-aware, back-end integrated, multi-step ad experiences that can meet customers wherever they are in that AI-driven conversation. Also, the European Union is getting serious about AI regulation. The European Commission has released its draft guidelines on high-risk AI classification under the EU AI Act. This is a critical roadmap for anyone building or deploying AI, especially if you have users in Europe. The guidelines spell out specific categories like biometrics, education, employment, essential services, and law enforcement as high risk. Now, this provides a much clearer picture of what you'll need to comply with from day one. And here's a bit of good news. They've extended the deadline for standalone high-risk systems to December 2, 2027. That's a 16-month extension, giving you some breathing room for lifecycle and governance updates. But don't get complacent. If your team is targeting the EU market, or if your product could even touch these high-risk categories, you need to audit your use cases against these guidelines. Now, it's not just about avoiding fines. It's about building trust and ensuring your AI is fit for purpose in regulated environments. Let's talk about a powerful use case from Amgen. They're using AI digital twins to significantly improve clinical trial design. Think about that for a second. Amgen is employing AI-powered patient digital twins, essentially virtual patients trained on vast amounts of historical and real-world data to simulate and design trials. This approach aims to boost the statistical power of trials and reduce the reliance on traditional slow patient enrollment, all while staying within existing regulatory frameworks. It's a huge validation. What it shows us is that AI isn't just for simple tasks. It can accelerate timelines and improve outcomes in heavily regulated high-stakes environments like healthcare. For builders, this is a blueprint. It validates AI for critical regulated decisions, proving that improved outcomes and compliance can absolutely coexist. This opens up massive opportunities in areas like trial optimization, advanced patient modeling, and developing compliant AI systems that truly deliver real-world impact. Finally, a bit of a warning, especially if your product relies on pulling information from the internet. Google's AI overviews are proving to be vulnerable to manipulation, and the risks of data poisoning are definitely on the rise. A recent investigation found that these AI overviews, which summarize search results, can be gamed through carefully crafted posts containing false information. Despite Google updating its spam policies, manipulators are reportedly paying influencers to seed these misleading claims, which the AI then picks up and cites. This highlights a critical ongoing challenge: the susceptibility of any internet reliant AI system to data poisoning. For builders, this is a huge red flag for trust and safety. It means that rigorous data validation and anomaly detection pipelines must be a core part of your architecture if your product consumes external data. We're in an arms race against poisoning and manipulation attempts, and building resilient, trustworthy AI is more critical than ever. Now that Microsoft Edge for Business story, the agentic browsing, that's the one that really caught my attention. It marks a foundational shift, and that's why it's our deep dive today. Microsoft's agentic browsing, from copilots to autonomous workflow automation. What happened? Microsoft's just rolled out a limited preview of agentic browsing in Edge for Business. Think of it like this: your copilot isn't just a smart chat window anymore. It's an active agent that can take control. It'll navigate through web pages, intelligently fill out forms, and complete multi step workflows on sites that IT departments have pre approved. And they're leaning heavily on enterprise IT controls and purview data protection to make it fly in a business context. This isn't just a new feature, it's a redefinition of the browser as a workplace tool. Why does this matter right now? This isn't just another AI assistant, it's a mainstream enterprise browser becoming a host for autonomous agents. This move elevates AI from a passive helper to an active, workflow executing entity. It's going to drastically change how enterprise software is used, how internal business processes are automated, and ultimately how productivity is measured. It's a clear signal that the era of agents managing end to end business processes is not just theoretical anymore. It's arriving on your desktop through a tool many of us use every single day. Who should care about this? If you're a Chariot founder building SaaS, you need to think about how your product can be agent ready. Does it have clear APIs? Are your UI patterns stable enough for an agent to interpret? For data product managers, this means redesigning workflows to be automatable by an agent. How can you expose internal actions to make them agent friendly? Engineering leaders will need to prioritize API consistency and robust security protocols for agent interaction. And even but indie hackers playing in the enterprise space, this is your cue. Domain specific agents that can leverage existing platforms like Edge for Business could be a huge opportunity rather than trying to build entire infrastructure layers from scratch. And how would I think about this as a builder? My mental model here is that the browser is transforming into an operating system for agents. Imagine the browser itself becoming the orchestrator of your daily tasks. So if you're building a product, you've got to start thinking, how would an agent interact with my UI? What data would it need? What forms would it fill? You need to move beyond just human computer interaction and design for agent computer interaction. The opportunity is huge for automating repetitive tasks, but the risk is also there. If your product isn't designed for agent compatibility, you could be left behind as enterprises shift to these automated workflows. It's about being proactive and designing your product to be a good citizen in an agent driven world. My no BS take: while Microsoft's safe from day one claim is a bit of marketing gloss, errors will always compound in multi step workflows, and human oversight is still absolutely required. The underlying technology is very real. This isn't just hype, it's the practical enterprise grade deployment of agentic AI, and it's going to force every software builder to rethink how their products integrate with the user's workflow, especially in regulated environments where purview protections become crucial. If you're finding this useful, hit follow in your podcast app right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it's the best way to make sure you don't miss the next briefing. If you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, here it is. Experiment with auditing your product for agent readiness. Here's how to try it in under 30 minutes. First, pick one core workflow within your product, something that involves a few distinct steps a user typically performs, like onboarding a new client or processing an order. Second, spend 15 minutes mapping out each step of that workflow. For each step, ask yourself, could an AI agent understand and execute this action? Flag any steps that require complex human judgment or highly variable inputs. Finally, for the automatable steps, identify what existing APIs or UI elements an agent would need to interact with. Think about prioritizing the exposure of specific API endpoints or ensuring stable, well labeled UI hooks that an agent could reliably target. This specific experiment is worth your time right now because platforms like Microsoft Edge for Business are actively building the infrastructure for agents to interact with your products. Understanding where your product stands today on agent readiness gives you a massive head start on designing for tomorrow's automated enterprise, making your offering more attractive and efficient for a new generation of users and businesses. You're essentially stress testing your product's future compatibility. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.